Welcome to PioneerTV Pregame.
Tonight, the Mooresville Pioneers face off the Danville Warriors. Thank you for joining us on PioneerTV Pregame. My name is Alex Johnson, and joining me is Ben Casper.
The Pioneers won against Bloomington North last week. Their current record is 1-0. Here's Isaac Mueller and Neil Comer for more information on that game.
The Mooresville football season has just begun. In Week 1, the Pioneers defeated Bloomington North 38-13. Mooresville quarterback Nick Patterson completed 13 of his 27 passes for 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He also rushed 4 times for 29 yards and 2 touchdowns. The leading rusher was Brandon Wilson with 12 carries for 52 yards. Hogan Denny was the leading receiver with 6 catches for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mooresville had 428 total yards on offense. On defense, Landon Clements had 12 tackles and a sack. The Pioneers had some big defensive stops at the goal line and only allowed 13 points.
Yeah, it was about what we expected, and between the scrimmage and then last week, I felt like we improved big time, especially on defense. It's really, I think, the best defense that we've played. Last week against Bloomington North, our defense was flying around. Our linebackers were doing a great job. Our defensive ends were awesome. Our secondary didn't give up big plays. I thought our defense was awesome. I think our offense was adequate. I think we can play a lot better on the offensive side of the ball. But I'm excited this week to see the improvement on both sides of the ball, because that's what you got to do if you're going to be a good team at the end of the season.
Next, Mooresville will face Danville at home, Plainfield away, Greenwood at home, Decatur Central away, Franklin at home, Whiteland away, Martinsville at home, and Perry Meridian at home.
Danville's always strong. I think they've only lost 4 or 5 games in the last 3 years. We've had some success against Danville. Hopefully we can continue that trend. But as we get into the conference, it's always the conference championship is going to go through Decatur Central and Whiteland. We've struggled with those 2 teams. But the Mid-State Conference, in my opinion, is one of the top conferences in the state of Indiana. I think our conference is as good as there is. So there's not any breaks through. If you don't play your best each week, you got a chance to get beat. So there's no breaks. We're going to have to play well every week.
Next week, the Pioneers face off the Quakers at Plainfield.
Let's look at some of Mooresville's key players. Mooresville quarterback senior Nick Patterson has a .481 pass completion percentage, 245 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pass interception. Next, there is junior Hogan Denny and senior Brandon Wilson. Hogan Denny leads the Pioneers with 131 receiving yards. He has 2 receiving touchdowns and 16 rushing yards. Brandon Wilson leads the Pioneers with 52 rushing yards and 12 carries. On defense, junior Landon Clements leads the Pioneers with 12 tackles and 1 sack. Senior Kenny Curry for the Pioneers has 325 kickoff yards and 40 punt yards. He has made 5 out of 5 PAT kick attempts and 1 out of 1 field goal attempts.
The Pioneers played against the Warriors at Danville last season. Mooresville won that game 55-21. During that game, the Pioneers had a .8 pass completion percentage, 330 passing yards, 20 rushing carries, 119 rushing yards, 334 receiving yards, 1 sack, and 57 solo tackles.
The Danville Warriors had a .5 pass completion percentage, 114 passing yards, 45 rushing carries, 276 rushing yards, 123 receiving yards, and 37 solo tackles.
The Danville Warriors lost to Franklin Community last week 42-14, making their current record 0-1. Now let's look at the Warriors season schedule. Week 1 was Franklin Community. Week 2 is tonight's game against Mooresville. Week 3, Lebanon. Week 4, Crawfordsville. Week 5, Tri-West Hendricks. Week 6, Southmount. Week 7, Frankfort. Week 8, Western Boone. And Week 9, North Montgomery. Now let's look at some of Danville's key players.
Danville quarterback junior Trey Thompson has a .538 pass completion percentage, 79 yards a game, 1 touchdown, and 0 pass interceptions. Next, there's BJ West and Darren Sharp. BJ West leads the Warriors with 40 receiving yards. He has 1 receiving touchdown and 17 rushing yards. Darren Sharp leads the Warriors with 89 rushing yards and 17 carries. He has 1 rushing touchdown. On defense, Andrew Smith leads the Warriors with 9 tackles. Caleb Harvey for the Warriors has made 2 out of 2 PAT kicks attempts.
Let's look at both teams. Current season comparison, Mooresville offense has 13 passing completions, 2 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 183 total rushing yards, 245 total passing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 183 rushing yards, and 245 total passing yards. Mooresville's defense was 0 interceptions, 1 sack, 0 fumble recoveries, and 51 total tackles.
Danville's offense has 7 passing completions, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, 121 total rushing yards, and 79 total passing yards. On defense with 0 interceptions, 0 sacks, 0 fumble recoveries, and 62 total tackles. Thank you for watching Pioneer TV Pregame. Next up on air is Pioneer TV Game Update. Be sure to stay tuned for tonight's game.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.